what happened while the fighting was going on at Mission Hill, the Japanese had brigade headquarters was at Brigade Hill, say half a kilometre at least, or maybe more, in the rear. And the 3 battalions in front. Now the Japanese had sent during the night 1 or probably 2 companies in single file right around to cut the track behind the 3 battalions. And they managed to do that between brigade headquarters and the 3 battalions. Now, I probably saw more about the Brigade Hill engagement than anyone else. Oh, not probably, did. Next morning, our battalion was at the foot of Mission Hill on the Port Moresby side. Brigade headquarters was probably half a kilometre further along the track, and the Japanese had cut the track halfway between. Somebody had gone down and had been shot, or they'd heard a rifle shot or something like that. So they sent me out on the right with about five people or 6, to just move down to the right and then come up and just see if we could establish if in fact the Japanese were ensconced there. We walked down the hill for say 150 yards and we came to a terribly defined track. It was obvious that say 1 company or 2 company had walked along there during the night. They'd walked across in single file, exactly as we would have done with phosphor and bark on their backs, etc. They'd walked in single file, but it was such a well-worn track, and they wore special shoes. You could tell immediately it was Japanese because there was a special place in the shoe for the big toe. Anyway, they walked up. So we followed the track right up to the crest of the hill, back, a couple of 100 yards to the top. When we got to the very brink of the hill, we spread out 2 yards apart, only the 6 of us. And we were crawling up, not knowing whether, we were getting to the crest of the hill. Tommy Foy was my platoon sergeant. He was a warrant officer, but he'd been reduced to only because we didn't have a platoon sergeant. He'd been in the Indian Army. Now, Tommy Foy, I was looking at him, he's 2 yards away. We had undergrowth, say 2 feet high, very light undergrowth. He crawled across this open space because we were just in an extended line moving up. He had lifted his head and he got a bullet from, say, 6 yards, straight through his throat and the full length of his body, killed instantly. Now, we couldn't see the Japanese, they couldn't see us. We waited there absolutely quiet because nothing we could do. We weren't a fighting patrol, we were purely a reconnaissance, you're not equipped to start fighting. I mean, you can defend yourself, but nothing to defend. In the night, they dug foxholes, heavily camouflaged. We slither backwards, and we go back and report to the battalion headquarters that where the Japanese were ensconced and the number that were there, because you could see from this track that it had to be a company or more.